Hi there, good morning to you, and thank you for joining with me today. You know, I once heard a doctor who put his patients on a diet. He said, I want you to eat for 2 days, then I want you to skip a day. Do this for a couple of weeks and then come back and see me. So that's got that, eat 2 days and skip a day. 2 weeks later, the man was back. He had lost 20 pounds, and the doctor said, you lost all that weight by following my instructions, that's wonderful. The man said, yes, I did, but I thought I was going to drop dead on the third day. The doctor said, what, from hunger? No, he said, from skipping. Food was important in the early church, always is. It's important to us, but they had their meals together in the early church, and for some of them, there was a problem, and it set up a number of quite memorable fights. What has all this got to do with us 20 centuries later? Well, I think it does have a lesson. Most of these early Christians had been pagans. Most of their friends were pagans. So what would they do when they were asked out for a meal and the meat that was served had previously been offered to an idol? That was a serious issue for them, and clearly Paul considered the question on the surface to be a non-issue, but serious enough for him to address it. I mean, after all, idols have no real existence, so offering them a sacrifice was an illusion in the first place. But Paul recognised that some early Christians were confused when they saw their fellow Christians eating food that had been offered to idols. So, what does that say to us today? I think first of all, and most importantly, it says we have a responsibility to one another. Within the church family, as well as within our own family and different friends, they have different ways of looking at things. They have different levels of life experience. Some of us have lived pretty much pain-free lives. Others hurt every day. If we are to be a community, we've got to put ourselves in other people's shoes. But the second thing that Paul seems to say, writing to these folks who were all wound up about it, is that sometimes our faith, whatever our faith is, calls us to sacrifice. And Paul says there's nothing wrong with the practice, but if it's causing problems to somebody else, then that is an issue. It's like the man who was walking down a dark street one night, and he saw a faltering pinpoint of light coming towards him, and he thought, the person that's holding that light must be drunk. But as he drew nearer, he could see it was a man with a flashlight carrying a white cane. Now, why would a blind man carry a light? The man wondered, and so he asked. And the blind man said, I carry my light not so I can see, but so that others can see me. I can't help being blind, but I can help people falling over me. So Paul didn't want to be what he figured was a stumbling block for other people. So he's saying we have to think of others, and if it's a concern for them, it should also be my concern too. That approach to life is completely out of step with modern thinking, which says, I'm looking out for me. If my lifestyle offends you, too bad. I think Paul's onto something. John Donne once said, no man is an island. What I do affects you. What you do affects me. God help us to be considerate of others, even when we maybe think that they're making a mountain out of a molehill. Again, thank you for listening to me. God bless you this week and always.